free to stop anytime.
Oh, did you start recording that?
No. Okay, Ganondorf's here. Fucking scroll, fuck. Anyway. It's like all this preamble for all this bullshit. It's like, no, it just give us the names.
I also like how we're using the underpowered laptop.
What do you mean?
M1 chip? No M1 chip.
That's because this podcast isn't worth my laptop.
Oh, fuck you! Fuck you.
I draw anime titties on that exclusively.
I hate you.
That's my side hustle, baby.
We ready?
Yeah, we recorded that whole thing.
Oh, I hate you. Damn. I can't believe it. Episode 11. Like, holy shit.
Excuse you. XI. X1.
You just really want to use those X's. How many X's can you X? X, X, X.
Hey, I told him last time, wait till we get to episode 30.
What will 30 represent?
Triple X. It'll also be 30 weeks we've managed to keep this charade up.
I know, right?
What are people going to do when they find out we're fake gamer boys? What are they going to do?
I mean, you might be a fake gamer boy. You know me. You walk into my house and it is video game mecca. Get on my level.
Poser.
Yeah, it's
you have sealed copies of games. You don't even play them.
Yeah, they're sealed until I play them, asshole. Get this right. Don't you throw me under the bus.
Yeah, he doesn't even open his games and play them. He just looks at them like a freaking kid in the museum being like, I'm hungry.
I hate you.
Also, what kid in museum goes to a museum to get food?
It's like going to IKEA to get their lunch.
Why?
Actually, to be fair, food at IKEA's food court is fucking delicious. Those Swedish meatballs, dynamite.
I do like
balls.
They're chocolate bars.
Balls, got it.
Yeah, well, they have hazelnuts in it, so I like myself some nuts.
Some hazely nuts?
Yeah. That's Oregon's favorite nut, baby. So just wanted to say thank you all for listening to last week's holiday special. Hope you all had a wonderful holiday break, a wonderful Christmas if you celebrate, wonderful Boxing Day too. I don't know. I don't know your lives. But yeah, we're back again this week to hopefully entertain you all. We had a bit of not like a technical screw up, but we just had another episode topic we had to shelve for now. So we're going to jump into something else. And I discussed it with my co-host over there.
This is me, by the way, the co-host. As you know, James,
yeah.
DJ Jazzy James, the one with the lyrical style.
It's Fat John and DJ Jazzy James in the house, baby. If you like lo-fi, new jazz, crazy shit, you're here for the right place. And video games. But anyway, that's my own reference, so if there are any listeners out there who get that, hit the like button. But as you all know, I'm John.
And I'm James.
This is Games with John and James. And we felt it appropriate because the first episode opened with a response to I'm going to say infamous list.
Yeah. I mean, we've honestly bashed it to the point IGN will probably never sponsor us. Like, I'm pretty sure we're like on some type of vision board as podcasts we must crush.
John IGN has a cigar in his mouth and he's throwing it at a dartboard like, these motherfuckers.
You know how wild it would be, like, in like some random IGN article they reference us as people who don't know what they're talking about? That would make my day to be that level of infamous.
It reminds me of what happened to the Game Grumps, because like Kotaku or something, I had some vendetta against them. I don't know what it was, but every time they would like talk about them or Let's Players or anything like that, they would always misspell their names and call them the Game Grumps or something. Or if they announced about like, their video game, they wouldn't tag them at all. And it's just like, why do you hate us?
Oof.
So it's like, fuck you.
Well, one day our infamy may grow there. But until then, the audience that we do have, we promise to keep basking in your glory.
We promise to keep it real fun, because that's what games are.
So, in the vein of keeping it real, as John mentioned, we had a topic we were going to talk about, but we're gonna bench that because we started this year with a bang. And thank you to everybody who has taken the time to listen. Our first episode was that IGN Top 64 list. That
yeah.
Ridiculous thing, that horrible train wreck of a thing.
That people voted for, and I can't see why.
And a list actually came out here recently from Gamesradar. They did their top 50 games of all time.
And we've got some things to say.
So in looking at this one, I'll just tell you straight up, there's a vast difference in how they quantify and how they did it. Instead of it being vote-based, where, as you know, it doesn't matter if you're playing Mother 3, which is a super niche, like kind of hidden in their JRPG, if it's going up against the most popular game ever, that God of War 2018 from
Fortnite.
the other list.
Dude, Mother 3 versus Fortnite. I would love to see any of the fanboys and like 8-year-olds like fight each other. That'd be hilarious.
Screw you, little kid, my game's better.
No,
But you're-
it is. I sure do. I'll teabag you. Give it Tomato Town. Say that to me in Tomato Town, scrub.
The kid just replies back, "You're 60, shut up."
Shut up, old boomer. Okay, boomer. Yeah.
No, I'm a boomer zoomer.
I zoom, and the boom, boom, boom all the time.
So this list,
That dated me too. Holy shit.
yeah, I mean, you've been around in 5 different decades, like myself. So we are dated. We're basically fossils. We are video game fossils.
I hope I'm a Kabuto.
I'm an Aerodactyl because I'm awesome.
You're a Scarodactyl because you're terrifying.
Oh, what was the Pokemon that? So he gave it away in our Christmas episode. So my last name is Crow.
Ah,
What is the Pokemon? Murkrow.
Yeah.
I am a Murkrow. Keep everything Crow.
that has a freaking witch hat on its head? Yeah.
I'm a Murkrow dog.
I'm a Tangrowth because I'm a hairy, tangly son of a bitch.
Because you like tentacles in your bum?
No, I'm also an Ursaring because I'm a huge bear boy.
So you like tentacles in your bear butt?
Why is it always gay shit with you?
Why do you set yourself up for it? That is the real question.
Why do you seem so fixated on it? You know, screw the topic. Let's talk about this now. Let's talk about your blatant homosexuality.
Oof.
Nothing wrong with that at all, but like, man, it really is starting to pile up, isn't it? I'm the one who even announced, like, I own it. I say there's hunky boys in video games. You're the one who's just all like, oh, you want tentacles in your butt? What are you so afraid of? What part of this latent part of your personality are you so afraid of?
Oh, so I go for the really low-hanging jokes and everything. And
Like balls.
you literally said in one of our episodes, my little blue balls.
Mm.
There's only so much I can refrain from before it comes out in the form of humor.
Do you have any idea how much, whenever we do this, I just go into a fugue state and never remember a thing I say?
Blackout.
Yeah, exactly.
So we're going to rein it back in on topic.
Yeah, this has been 10 minutes of bullshit.
So this list, they put a lot of thought into it. It looks like it was in-house voting, if I'm not mistaken, right?
I believe so. We could actually read the article, but we're not going to do that. We could just look at the names.
So this is honestly it's not a top 64, it's a top 50 list, and no voting. So we will go in order. And
You know, how about we do our due diligence here? How about I actually I'll do a narrative read of the actual opening of the article so we know what we're dealing with. Does that sound fair?
Yeah. So it was in collaboration with the Golden Joysticks Award. Joystick, not joysticks. The Golden Joystick
It's
Awards.
like a wiener. Who do I sound like?
So this was in collaboration with the Golden Joystick Awards, Gamesradar Plus. It's assembled a list of what Gamesradar believes the ultimate games of all time.
If I may. With millions of titles to choose between, we came to our final shortlist after considering influence, innovation, legacy, social impact, critical reception, and enduring playability. The result is a list of the 50 best video games that span eras and genres, a selection that respects the games that define the past and those we believe will be consequential in our industry's future.
I think that sums it up right there. It sounds like this was initially done as a collaboration with some game awards that came out, and it sounds like, unlike the IGN list where it was, pick your popularity contest.
It was a popularity contest versus something that feels more thoughtful.
This one, I mean, literally, they're talking about, they want to make sure, influence, innovation, legacy, social impact, critical reception, and enduring playability. That's awesome. That is what you really want to look for in a video game. So, I mean, with that, I'm actually optimistic to go over this list, comparatively speaking to the other one. What about you?
Number 50 is the new Animal Crossing game. We are off to a start.
I like how I'm positive and he's like,
I liked Animal Crossing when it came out because, we live in the real world, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen. So that game came out right at the introduction of the COVID pandemic and all of the lockdowns that came out, and that basically gave us a place to have like a little Zen garden virtually.
It was an escape from the reality of the world at its time.
It's even referenced in the article.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty on point. Any Animal Crossing game you play, it's iterative. It's a lot of the same. Graphics will look a little better. The process is going to be a little bit smoother. But with New Horizons, when it came out, any potential weakness the game had was completely overshadowed by the fact that it came out when society needed a release.
Mm-hmm.
Like
same with Doom Eternal.
I mean, the polar opposite. You're not Zen. You're just murder.
There's Zen in murder. You haven't tried it.
Are you admitting something on air?
You admit you're gay first, and I'll admit my crimes. I'll admit my gay crimes too.
See, look, low-hanging fruit. You just picked from it.
Anyway, yeah, I totally agree. Like, it was basically the bomb that kind of went over. Like, maybe the lockdown won't be so bad. This will give me something to do if you were people who were furloughed or didn't have a job or could hopefully sustain some type of sustainable lifestyle for at least a little while. It gave you the virtual Zen garden, as I've said, that you needed in a place where there was a whole lot of not calm and not Zen happening.
That is very true. So I think we're in agreement. Yeah. I can respect that at number 50.
Yeah, and if we have this lengthy of a discussion about every single game, we'll be here for 3 hours.
Oh no, we're like, if you literally look at the next one, we're gonna. There's some.
I'm just gonna skip this one.
No, there's some we'll skip. So the next one, Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
I don't understand why the first Assassin's Creed wouldn't be the one.
So I can get why they picked Odyssey. Odyssey was back in Greek times, right? Sure. Everybody has a boner for Greek mythology. Look at our couple episodes ago when we talked about Hades in our game review. Like the Greek
boner.
Yeah, literally, right?
Hey-ho.
I can see why they picked Odyssey for that reason. You know what I mean? Like, I could definitely see that.
Well, I don't know. I think about just the influence that the first one had and basically established the Ubisoft template for everybody to see. I think that had more influence. But, I mean, if it's the most recent and best example of that template being followed, sure, why not?
So, I'm fine with that. 49, whatever. Sure, whatever.
We have 50 to choose from, so,
What I will say is once you've played an Assassin's Creed, you've fucking played them all.
You pretty much.
Yeah, that's bottom line, yeah.
Also, I love how Assassin's Creed Syndicate was probably the last one to follow the original format that Assassin's Creed games usually followed, right?
Yeah, I think you're right on that one, yeah.
And what's funny is I believe that one had a climbing hook or some type of rope you could use to climb things. And I love how the current innovation in so many games right now, because I'm playing Halo Infinite, is to add a grappling hook.
You want to make a game better? Give it a grappling hook.
Dude, do you have any idea how much every game would be better if you were Spider-Man? Every single one.
Organic webs.
From your dick. Anyway.
Oh, you might have a condition.
Peter Parker might. Bitten by radioactive spider. Anyway, we're getting off track one more time. We gotta go through this list.
All right.
So number 48 is Fez. Now, truth be told, this was an indie darling and it won awards, but I never personally played it. I understand the appeal of it in the same way that I understand a lot of indie puzzle platformers and stuff, especially at the year it came out. So,
does it deserve to be in the top 50? I mean,
because this is about legacy and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So this was around the 2010s is the cusp of when the indie darling scene started with things like Braid and things like this and a lot of other examples that I can't really name right now because it's just a huge nostalgia trip. Even Bastion, Bastion was around this time.
I mean, that's fair. So I can definitely agree with what you're saying. It's always cool to see a really good 2D puzzle game, right?
It planted the flag of indies basically and started that. It spearheaded pretty much everything now to, I'm sure that's why we have things like The Messenger and Celeste and Cyber Shadow and even Cuphead to an extent. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, today's day and age, indies are honestly, we have more indie games that are successful than AAA titles right now. And I am all for that because I want every video game to succeed, with a few exceptions.
Hatred.
Chris Tales, actually.
You didn't like that one?
Love the artwork. Love the stylization in it. The gameplay is hollow. like beyond hollow. Like it makes really hollow JRPGs look not hollow.
Don't say it. Don't say it, me. Keep that inside. Keep that for the inside voice. All right. Well, maybe we'll go into another review or something, or maybe I'll check it out and see what it's about. But yes, moving down the list, we have 47, which needs no explanation whatsoever. It's Fortnite Battle Royale.
So we talked about Fortnite quite a bit in the previous list, so we'll sum it up appropriately. It was the game that vaulted cross-platform play into the stratosphere, and like it, love it, hate it. Because of it, so many games that people truly enjoy playing, and you don't have to worry about what console you have. If your friend has a Xbox One X and you have a PS4, you can play games together now. Like, if
or you're on your phone.
Yeah, like that's huge. That is very respectable. That is the credit I'll give Fortnite, because outside of that, a majority of the player base feels like they've lost half their brain.
You know, you can have your own little look at it that way. Like, if the kids love it, let them play it. It's the same thing that happened to Minecraft, you know what I mean? But I have two things to say about that. Actually, mostly one. I think you touched on the thing I was going to say. But the number one thing is that I think about Cliff Bleszinski, and I think I mentioned this in a previous episode, but you know who Cliff Bleszinski is, right?
Yeah.
He's the developer behind Unreal. And I wonder if he thinks about how every single thing that he's made in the past, 25 years has pretty much shaped all of video games forever.
He's got to. Watch him have, a tribute wall. Then to now.
And all of his pimp suits he wore to every E3. Jesus, Cliffy. But yeah, I wonder about that so much, because if I was responsible for making Unreal and then developing Unreal technology and how every video game uses that engine, I mean, hell, I would pat myself on the back a bit. I
mean, hell, just at the Game Awards, they were talking about the Unreal 5 engine. That's awesome.
The fact that an engine can get a debut like that.
That's pretty fucking cool.
Good job, Epic. So, you do some things right. And I'll give them credit, too, because they're a legacy company.
That's fair. I can respect that.
Epic Mega Games, bro.
Yeah, they're very true. So I'm going to spearhead this one, because this one makes me happy.
This one makes me happy, too.
Number 46, Persona 4 Golden.
Hell yeah.
So Persona had a rocky start with 1 and 2 initially back on the PlayStation 1.
How do you market a game like that in the 90s?
Well, I mean, you were dominated by your Final Fantasies, and you were dominated by all of the other Square X projects coming out. Sure. It was hard.
Yeah, Atlas couldn't get a word in edgewise.
Persona 3 comes out on the PS2. Awesome. Persona 4 improves everything on 3 and gives it to you even better. Even more awesome. Persona, if you haven't experienced it, give it a shot. I'm not a big fan of the kind of high school dating sim that's in a lot of JRPGs nowadays. But it is a well done, well crafted game. It is a narrative driven experience, start to finish, with very polished mechanics. And if you look at the entire franchise, I don't care what anybody says about the popularity of Persona 5. Persona 4 Golden is what cemented that franchise for years to come.
Yeah, I agree with that. And also, it's one of the few JRPGs I'd say that actually allows role-playing in it. And some of that is the dating sim type of stuff, but other parts of it are the actual decisions you get to make as a character. But yes, I agree.
Moving right along, actually. Look, we're actually we're doing good on this.
We're 20 minutes in, and we're at 45. Fun.
So number 45 is Castlevania Symphony of the Night.
I have not played this game. I've played Castlevania games like it.
What?
What do you mean?
You haven't played it?
I made it for a little bit.
I mean, would you like to borrow it so you can experience it?
I can just get it on my Xbox for free, I think.
Fuck you.
Hey, Xbox Game Pass, sponsor us.
Play it in its original form.
You see me doing this motion? I'm doing the truck horn.
Chugga, Xbox Game Pass.
Yeah, all aboard the hype train all the way to Moneytown. That's where I'm going.
So, Castlevania had been around for a while. Mm-hmm. And Symphony of the Night comes out. You can look at any iteration of Castlevania. Symphony of Night is the piece de la resistance. It is the perfect version of Castlevania. There are games that have almost equaled it, or, equaled it in certain areas.
I'd say it's the perfect version of its type of Castlevania.
Yeah. I mean, need we say more?
Enough said, y'all. Play the other Castlevania games too. Classic ones are good.
So
Forza Horizon 4, I have nothing to say about this shit. This is number 44.
yeah, I mean, it's a Forza game. Like, Forza's super iterative. It's always looked fucking beautiful, no matter which Forza you play, because when you think about it, it's just cars and tracks, right?
Well, yeah, this one did the whole open world approach, and I understand because like Forza and Forza Horizon are very different.
Mm-hmm.
Like, one of them is very much dedicated to being a sim racer. The other one's more to like open world playground stuff, right?
Yep.
So I understand why Horizon's there, because it actually delivered on like, yeah, you can have your car sim, but what if you just want to drive around in a desert somewhere, or in Britain, or in Mexico, or in like Fiji or whatever? So I can get that.
So moving right along, number 43 is Hades. As you know, we recently reviewed a game.
Holy crap, we actually have things to say about it for a whole episode? Oh my god.
So this one, we'll keep it super brief. You know what we said about it. If you listen to the other episode, it is arguably one of the best roguelites that has been made in recent memory.
That's literally what it says in the article. Slick, stylish, and rewarding. Hades is easily one of the very best roguelikes in recent memory.
Play it, enjoy it. Greek mythology is always fun. Great voice acting is always awesome to hear. Tight, well-polished, fun combat is always awesome. And replayability is great because you can play it for 30 minutes, you can play it for 3 hours. Doesn't matter. It's a great experience. I think that's enough said on Hades.
Enough said.
Buy that fucking game.
Play it. That's a catchphrase. All right, number 42. We've got Destiny 2.
I mean,
did you ever play Destiny?
No, but I see the appeal of Destiny. Like, Destiny 2 came out in my opinion, as the MMO craze was kind of dwindling a little bit, and it approached it from a new aspect. It's, hey, here's an MMO, but with guns.
Yeah, it's funny too, because the way that I always looked at it was Bungie's next big thing, and they tried to deliver on all the promises that they set. And no, I know the website refreshes like that. It's annoying.
Yeah. I mean, great list. Don't get me wrong. Like, quite a few of it is really good, but
these fucking ads. Anyway, yeah. Anyway, I was gonna say, like, when Destiny was announced and it was Bungie's next big project, I was like immediately interested. Just not only in the concept of, like, another shooter game from Bungie, who made probably one of the best feeling shooters out there with Halo. Mm-hmm. The promise of going to planets and exploring and just being part of the world. Again, the open world approach was always so cool, and like squads and like random events that would happen on the planet's surface, so you'd have to take down huge bosses. And like, some people can get down on it because, like, when they say a boss is hard, it just means they have a lot of health. It's like, well, yeah, but that's every MMO. That's what raids are.
Not every MMO.
It's mostly every MMO.
No. You have not played enough MMOs. You're fired.
Whatever.
So, no, I can respect that.
I think what I said.
I think it does deserve a place in the top 50, just because we're now, like, it's going into its 5th year. Literally, we just saw new content coming out for it. It's here to stay.
And it's free to play.
Mm-hmm. Like, you buy the game. That's it.
You don't even have to buy the game anymore. You just get it.
Oh, damn. Yeah, there you go. I'm corrected. So we're going to chug right along. We're going to end, we're ending these 40s at Fire Emblem 3 Houses at 41. It's a Fire Emblem game. It is a wonderfully challenging strategy RPG. Permadeath was introduced. Like, it's one of the big things introduced with Fire Emblem games.
So you can kill all of your party members.
So you don't have to experience it in this one if you don't want to. It's I told John I was a little torn. Like, of all Fire Emblem games, why are you going to choose this? But I've had a chance to think on it as we've been talking, and I can see why this one made the cut. Because if this is going to be the Fire Emblem moving forward, you have your protagonist with your 3 sub-protagonists. Mm-hmm. Each of them, there's 2 avenues of storyline. You're helping or fighting. So that's literally 6 replays if you choose to see everything. And for a modern game, especially a modern JRPG, normally you beat the game and there's an end-game dungeon. That's it. Whoopie-doo. Like, that's replayability on a fun level, and it incorporates Persona elements with your classroom setting.
That's right.
In a proper way.
Because it's war school, and you got to pick your house like Gryffindor. I've clearly not played these games.
So
I played Shining Force. I'm an OG.
All right. So we're moving right along. And
Batman Pasadena, number 40. Whatever.
Did you just say Batman Pasadena?
No, Batman like Pasadena as in like skip it.
So he is not a fan of it, but Batman Arkham Asylum made number 40. I can respect it making the list in a place that's at 40. Maybe not. Like it was good because it helped bring beat 'em ups even more into the modern era, and I think it set elements up for future beat 'em ups to improve upon what it did and do it better to where we can get more enjoyment out of it. And who the hell doesn't love beating the crap out of someone as Batman?
It's fun, but like I feel like I don't want this to turn into a review of the game, but like for me,
You know what made it fun? They had a grappling hook.
I'll give it that. But for me, like people complain about formulaic games. People complain about even like the Ubisoft formula because when you see a Ubisoft game, you know you're going to get an open world with blips on the radar and other crap to find. A generic open world, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like when...
So people just give this one a pass because it's Batman. It's like finally a good superhero game. You know what I mean? That's what it felt like to me.
Well, to be fair, a superhero beat 'em up... A superhero beat 'em up hadn't been that polished at the time it came out, ever. If you look at what it laid the foundation for, I would say it laid the foundation for games like Spider-Man or Spider-Man Miles Morales. Like, if you look at that, that is the next level.
I can agree with that.
That's the next level of what it did. And it did get too iterative, which I think is the reason why we didn't see any more. You know, like, they eventually were like, we've run this into the ground. Bye.
After it was because it was Arkham Asylum, then Arkham City, like Arkham Origins, and then Arkham Knight, I think, for the last one with the Batmobile.
Yes.
I don't fucking know. Like, I didn't play these games. I don't
checked
care.
out after one.
I checked out after one, basically. Yeah, and whatever. Like it laid because again, the list is legacy. So if it laid the foundation for better games to follow that I enjoy more, good. I'm glad it was there.
So we can agree on that. So trucking right along, this one is up John's alley, number 39. We're in the 30s now.
I like how you say that instinctually when I'm about to like flame this game.
Well, it's still up your alley.
It is up my alley, but
Bayonetta 2.
Bayonetta 2, number 39. Now, I'll give Bayonetta all the credit in the world.
Nintendo's version of Devil May Cry?
It was Sega's version, and then it was Sega's version, then became Nintendo and Sega's version, and now it's just Nintendo's version, I'm sure. But like for me, what's funny is that this goes in the same line of why I don't like the early Devil May Cry games too much. I would rather do the cool things in the game. Not have like a cutscene where Dante or Bayonetta are like flipping around a horse or a motorcycle and doing all this cool shit. Like, I'd rather do the cool shit. Mm-hmm. That said, it's still a cracking good action game. It's fun to play sometimes, and if you can get over the kind of like manic and over the top crazy like presentation of it all, it can be a pretty fun time.
Yeah, I think that's enough said on that. Bayonetta.
And also, it's underdog story because holy shit.
That's true. And you can actually experience it on the Switch because 1 and 2 came out as like a combo pack on the Switch, remember?
Yeah. And so, if you're a horny son of a bitch like I know we all are as gamers, go get it.
Moving along, 38.
Skip this one too.
So, John's least favorite style of game is
Bloodborne.
Soulsborne games, and Bloodborne takes the cake at number 38.
Why?
I mean,
because we okay. To preface, we've seen this list. The both of us have, so we know what's number one. So why have this one at 38?
Don't spoil it for people.
I didn't say what. I just said we know.
So the reason why I think this game is here is you have Dark Souls 1, 2, 3, Demon Souls. You've got Bloodborne, Sekiro, blah 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 blah. Right?
All of Miyazaki's games.
Bloodborne kind of separated itself because it went away from that Dark Souls vibe.
And just put on a different hat?
I mean, it did. It's kind of like a Lovecraftian twist, as the article even says.
I get that, but aesthetics only go so far when it comes to fundamental changes in game. Ugh.
But also think about the time it came out. Because it came out in 2015.
When the PlayStation 4 had no games to play.
Exactly. Like, So, PlayStation 4, in my opinion, was edging ahead of the Xbox One just because the Xbox One kind of mimicked the mistakes of the PlayStation 3.
Dude, yeah.
Which the 3, like, let's be real.
It did.
For the first, 3 years of the console, 360 monstered the PS3, right? First 3 years. Easy. And you reverse it, now the PS4, just because of their mistakes, it's monstering. But by that time, Microsoft kind of righted the ship in a sense with their game variety was a little bit better than the PlayStation at the time.
Mhm.
So PlayStation needed something big. And they got it in Bloodborne. I think Bloodborne was the game that reeled people back in and let Sony win last generation's console war.
It's just so funny because I think about it from the perspective of us and like, you know, Joe Schmo, whoever probably buys like 1 or 2 games a year. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, did Bloodborne really appeal to a mass swath of people that badly? I don't know.
I mean,
Certainly enough to be on a friggin' list like this, but at the same time, I'm just like the guy who buys like Madden and like, you know, one other game every year, really?
yeah, I mean, that's fair. That's totally fair. So chugging right along. Number 37, Inside.
Inside.
It's a puzzle game.
Do we have anything? Because
It's a puzzle game. It's a monochromatic, as the article says. Gorgeous, very gorgeous, like environments. Because I remember seeing
they're talking about Limbo in the first one. So Inside is the second game that the studio put out, I believe.
Yep, stand corrected. Sorry, my apologies.
And what's interesting is it's a puzzle game, but it also does the narrative. It actually explores its narrative without dialogue and entirely through how you play it.
Indie game right there. I mean,
fuck yeah. Partly funded by the Danish Film Institute. How about that?
Huh, I didn't know that, did you?
Nope.
Hey, look, Gamesradar, you're teaching us stuff on air.
Like the Danish is a country.
Ooh, you make me Danish.
Apparently Denmark is in Southeast Asia now, but okay. But yeah, Inside, apparently it's a very well put together indie darling type narrative driven puzzle game. So, I mean, give it a shot, y'all.
Yeah.
I ain't mad at that.
Nope. Moving right along. I'm happy to see this one at 36.
I kind of am too. Yeah.
Shadow of the Colossus. You heard us talk about it on the last list when it lost everything it lost. Unfortunately, fuck you list. I agree. This needs to be in a top 50 list because when you think about it, Shadow of the Colossus and Team Ico kind of set up what we were going to get with Dark Souls and everything. Because if you think about it, it's fighting the giant Colossus, right? Dark Souls is about fighting the giant boss. Like
it's about presenting a challenge that seems insurmountable, but through perseverance and trial and error, you make it.
And at the time of its release, because it was released in 2005, it was such a gorgeous game.
Yeah, it was. This was the same year the 360 launched, y'all.
Mm-hmm. And like, you still had like your God of Wars out, like, which was also another fun looking game to look at. But like, it was just for the PS2. We're talking so polished. Yeah,
like they delivered on something. They had a concept and they delivered on it perfectly. Like, I can't be mad at this.
I mean, there's a reason games were developed for the fucking PS2 till 2012.
FIFA.
Hey-oh. Chugging along.
Wow, holy crap, this is this low. I feel this is low on the list.
Tell us about it.
Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past comes in at 35. Now, wow, okay. Like, because it was funny, because you sent this list to me originally saying, like, hey, we might have to do an episode on this. And I agreed with you immediately because, like, we have shit to say. But as I went through the list and I saw games that only came out as far back as, like, the early 2000s, I was like, is there going to be anything with actual clout on this list? And then I found Link to the Past. I'm like, thank God.
Literally the first 2 sentences of the article. Want to see a fight? Trap 30 Zelda fans in a room and ask them to decide what the best of the lot is.
Yo, I would love to see that happen because a lot of them would actually do Link's like, yeah, noise.
Yo, that'd be like Gamer Fight Club right there.
Yo.
You don't speak about Gamer Fight Club.
It's called Smash Brothers.
I mean, me personally, I would like to see this higher because
just the esteem that we have for it.
Well, yeah, like 3D Zeldas are amazing. Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Twilight Princess, Skyward Sword, Breath of the Wild. Don't get me wrong. They are amazing for what they did. But Zelda 2, The Adventures of Link, the CDI bastardized ones.
Do we even want to count those?
Yeah, no, we're just going to write those off. They're a loss. But
wow!
They're a loss. But if you look at it, so we won't even count those. So Adventures of Link, right?
Mm-hmm.
really hit people the wrong way.
Well, Adventures of Link was released at a time where like sequels to games
Sucked.
could be completely different from the first one. And when you say sucked, I mean like look at Mega Man and Mega Man 2. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, yeah, that's fair. But I'd like to see it higher because I think when we talk about the stopping power of a game within its franchise, I don't care who you are. You have experienced this game because it's out there with the Nintendo Switch Online. It's on the Super Nintendo Classic.
It's on everything, really. Everything Nintendo related, like they've found a way to re-release it. It's even on the Game Boy Advance through like their classic series with Four Swords Adventures and stuff. Shoot, and also like this game came out in 1991. That's when the SNES came out, and it also had Mario World. So the 1-2 punch of Mario World and that Link to the Past. I'm reminded of when the Switch came out, and Breath of the Wild was like the marquee title to get, and then Odyssey came out later that year.
Yeah, I mean, 30 years ago is when this game came out, right?
Fucking A, you're right.
I'd still play it. I'd load it up right now and have a good time with it.
Hell yeah.
That says a lot about your game right there.
Yep. Again, staying power, baby. So yeah, good show. Good. I'm good. I'm glad to see Zelda on the list already. So there you go. Number 34. I have no opinion.
34 is Dishonored 2.
Arcane Studios does good work, I guess. Sure, fine.
I mean, sure. We're just gonna say sure. I've never experienced the Dishonored franchise. I've heard good things ish.
Yeah.
Like I feel like it's like one of those like I've heard good-ish about the game.
It's one of those things where this is where kind of our sensibilities in terms of what we're interested in kind of falls apart. Like because I've said this before. The whole maxim for us is that like I care about things like immediate mechanics and spectacle and like stuff like that, gameplay first, whereas you are very character and story driven first. Dishonored 2 and games of its ilk, they're very much games that try to combine the two, and with mixed results. Or if you like it, that's fine. But like in terms of appealing to either an extreme on one side's sensibilities, it falls in the middle.
Yeah, I mean, I respect the fact that they let you play the game how you want, because, I mean, fuck, you could stealth the entire game if you wanted to.
Morality was a huge thing in those games for a while.
Which is kind of cool. Like, we'll respect that.
Yeah,
I mean, enough said,
was the
right?
style of the time.
Fair. Yep, 2016, what a different time.
Can we go back? Anyway, number 33, I gotta give big ups to this because my buddy is a huge fan of this franchise. Number 33 is Dead Space 2.
I'm just gonna say it, a sequel done fucking right.
Yes, unlike Dead Space 3. But yeah, so survival horror, if you're into that, one of the best of the lot. Dead Space 2 iterated on Dead Space 1 very well, and my watch is yelling at me. Fun. But yeah, I mean, what more did you want? Like, you want scary space adventure? There you go. And also, if you beat the game on the hardest difficulty setting, you get the foam finger.
Yep.
Where freaking Isaac actually goes like, pew, 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 bang, 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 whenever he shoots a necromorph. And I'm like, that's the kind of shit I love. Like, just for that right there, that's why it deserves to be on this list.
Icing on the cake, right?
Yeah, just like having fun with the actual thing, and like having this like morbid, dark, scary, oppressive environment, and then going pew pew is just the best.
So chugging right along, number 32, Stardew Valley,
Harvest Moon, The Revenge. I don't know. I've got nothing to say. I understand why people like this, but like I can't get behind it. I mean, it's the same reason like Animal Crossing, right? Like it's a Zen garden, and like people, I know how. Like people have talked about how it's very Harvest Moon like with like the relationships you develop with the people in towns and all sorts of stuff. Like Harvest Moon is name dropped immediately in this article even.
I think what kept it alive and I think what made it relevant is the sheer amount of updates that have happened for the game to keep you vested for whoever liked it. So sure, indie Harvest Moon-ish game. Does it deserve to be on this list? I don't think so.
I mean, with Animal Crossing on here, it's weird because I don't feel like it does.
I would like.
I sure one of my friends is going to kill me.
This could be a Harvest Moon slot.
But I mean, I think maybe the reason why it's on here is because Harvest Moon isn't. It's a passing of the torch. It's an the word we've used a lot is iterative, right? iterating on a concept, a mechanic, or something. This apparently is like the crowning achievement of that. So if it lives up to that hype and people love it, I understand.
I can agree with that. I don't know, but for like top 50 of all time.
Of all time.
That's what we're honestly going off of. And if you've heard us talk about any of the other games, does Stardew Valley really hold up to A Link to the Past? Is it better?
It's high. It's higher on the list. I just thought about that now.
I can't say it's better than... There's no way I could say it's better than A Link to the Past.
I can't either.
Like, could you imagine being in the room? All right, these are our 50 selections. Rate these. Can you imagine the argument that would happen from that?
The knife fights.
Like,
yes.
you and I would be debating for hours.
Yeah,
Just you and I. Imagine adding another 20 people into the mix.
Why are Chrono Trigger to Final Fantasy VII number 1 and 2? It's like, because James got here first.
I talked loudest and I won.
Motherfucker, I can yell louder than you.
So we're gonna move right along. Number 31, Super Metroid.
Super Metroid is the best game on the Super Nintendo.
Fuck you.
I know exactly what I said.
I know you know what you said. You know what? For its genre, it's the best of its genre on the Super Nintendo.
Fair enough.
Whereas, Final Fantasy 3, aka Final Fantasy 6, Chrono Trigger, blah, blah, blah.
All the shit that we have run into the ground that makes you actually hate it after a while.
Actually, I've never talked about Final Fantasy 6. Think about it.
Let's not start now.
You just did the weird laugh.
Kefka. Clown who pees in the river.
So, oh god.
Can there be a That sounds like a Dorkly video. Kefka, what are you doing? I'm poisoning the water supply. It's like, oh. Okay.
Kefka Wario?
Oh.
Kefario.
Just give him the hat and mustache. And infinitely more menacing.
Oh no.
Let me make you hate everything you love, people who love RPGs. Let me ruin your, your sacred cows.
Oh man.
Anyway, so Super Metroid, I'm not mad at that. Number 30, I'm surprised this one isn't high on the list, but I understand why it's here.
So 30 is Uncharted 2 Among Thieves, ladies and gentlemen.
Holy crap.
When we talk about Uncharted 2 Among Thieves, I think is the best of that franchise.
I have to agree.
Such a fun game. We're getting a movie spinoff with Spidey Man.
You think it's because he was in Spider-Man? Just keep him in the Sony family, you know what I'm saying?
Probably. I mean, who knows? He does a good job.
Yeah, he does a good job. But back on the game, though. I was a latecomer to the Uncharted franchise myself. I didn't play it. I wanted the first one, but never got it. I had a PS3 at the time. Just somehow missed the franchise. And I really regret it because if I would have played these at their time when they actually came out, I would have adored them so much. I remember very vividly when I was getting a PS4 and 4 was coming out, I made a point to marathon the old games. Mm-hmm. And I adored every one of them. It was one of those things where, the scene in SpongeBob where Squidward finally eats a Krabby Patty and he's like, all the wasted years, that kind of shit.
Yep.
That's what it felt like.
So I'm just going to say it this way.
This is
pacing is on point. Spectacle is on point. What you can do within the game to where you literally feel like you are involved, on point.
Technology even,
story, on fucking point.
Yeah.
Right?
Fun. It's how a lot of people like movies or certain books or certain video games just because they're fun. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. This is what this is. And, just for me and my own kind of fanboy grumbling, this was back when Naughty Dog still tried to make fun games they weren't ashamed of.
Yeah. So that's one. I will add the tagline of, if you haven't experienced it, you know me, I'm the RPG dude till I die. Go experience Uncharted 2 Among Thieves. You will enjoy it. It is a breath of fresh air. It is a fun, rewarding experience. I don't think we can add anything else to that.
The tagline for this episode, enough said.
Yeah.
All right, so number 29. We're past 30s, y'all.
Number 29, Final Fantasy VII.
Just gush if you want to. Go ahead.
I mean, I personally think it should be higher just because of how much was riding behind the game. Because if 7 failed, the PlayStation failed. They sunk so much money into that game after the rift with Nintendo because it was the most expensive game made to date at the time. right?
I actually didn't know that, so.
Like, if it failed, Sony's PlayStation would fail. We wouldn't have so much video game history that we have.
Mm-hmm.
So when you think about the gravitas of that situation, for that to be on a JRPG no less, that says a lot.
It's interesting because for me, as an outsider who I did play it when I was younger, but I didn't really appreciate it, I suppose. My brother played it and beat it and loved it and all that kind of stuff. But one of the things I always like to point out in my memories of video games is if I saw the commercial for it, and it was around the time where I didn't really see video game commercials anymore, but I vividly remember that one. It's like, coming soon to a PlayStation near you, Final Fantasy VII, the most epic storyline you'll ever experience, that kind of shit.
When it came out, if you weren't a fan of RPGs, you were a fan of RPGs, or you weren't even a gamer, everyone and their mother tried that game.
Tetris and Final Fantasy.
Basically, right?
Wow. I would love to see the kid's mom who tried the game be like, I don't know how to do it.
Tetra Fantasy. Every time you get a Tetris, you charge up your limit break bar.
It's called Puzzle Fighter. You've played that.
Oh, fair.
But yeah, definitely worthy to be on the top 50 list. Even I say that. Yeah, I also kind of agree it could stand to be higher. We'll see what kind of games come next.
So number 28.
Sure. Whatever.
Red Dead Redemption 2.
I tried to play this game. And I kind of had the same gripes I had with it when I had with Bayonetta, where it's like, it seems more interested in delivering something that I don't personally want to experience, so it's kind of hard for me to engage with it.
I mean, let's be real, it was literally the Wild West Grand Theft Auto.
Well, I mean, that's what the first one was even.
Yeah, I mean, so it's cool. The story's not bad. What you can do affecting the story and stuff, cool, whatever. It's open worldy, it's fun. The online is trash, don't do the online ever.
That's all of GTA's or Rockstar's shit. I don't know how they make money off of that crap.
Does it deserve to be number 28? Especially with A Link to the Past, Super Metroid, Uncharted 2, Final Fantasy fucking 7.
See, this is the thing where I think playing the games will help us. Because I'll wholly admit, I gave this game a try.
I played it through.
So you played it through, I didn't. So you experienced the whole game.
Whoa. Did I play something not an RPG through that you didn't? Mind blown.
Holy shit, guys.
We've reached the end of the era.
It's another SpongeBob reference where they're hugging in their underwear. You do care. Oh, God.
It's so what they set out to do, they did very, very well. And I mean, when your game is put into things like South Park, because they put it into a South Park episode, remember?
They also put a Dreamcast in a South Park episode.
Like,
that should have succeeded.
You've arrived when you've reached that type of national notoriety, right?
Yeah, I mean, Grand Theft Auto, it's a game named after a felony, so it would make sense. But Rockstar and Red Dead and stuff, I don't know, man. I'm out of my depth here.
If we're looking at it objectively, I mean, all of your games are the same, Rockstar, be it whatever skin you put on it.
Make Manhunt again. I want that one.
So I could see it being on the top 50. Like, I will give it credit on that aspect. But at 28, no. Not at all.
Okay. Well, the next one's Mass Effect 2, which is another game I'm out of my depth on. I don't care.
I mean, it's
BioWare. A good pedigree. That's all I'll say.
Yeah. I mean, it was a good sequel to Mass Effect 1. It continued the story, continued everything. Like, Mass Effect as a series is a wonderful series to try and play. Yes, it does have some black sheep in it. Whatever. This was not the black sheep. Give it a shot. 27? Sure.
I like how there are just some games where it's like, whatever. Fine.
Yeah.
All right. And okay, now we're at this point.
So, the number one game on the IGN list was God of War 2018. God of War 2018 is the number 26 entry here. And I'm happy to see God of War make a placement, but this is the wrong one. Why isn't God of War 2 here? Why isn't God of War 3 here? Why isn't God of War 1 here? Okay, not God of War 1. 2 or 3? 2 or 3.
I would give it to... I've said my piece regarding this stuff.
So I'm happy to see... I'm happy to see God of War getting represented because I think that's a franchise that can be explored in so many ways. Because if you think about it, they plucked him from Greek mythology, inserted him into Norse mythology, right?
Plucked him from Greece mythology, where he was riding in the car with the Grease Lightning and John Travolta.
But if you follow that formula, right, that means we'll probably get a trilogy. And at the end of it, you have left it open for him to be pulled into another mythology, like Hindu mythology, Chinese mythology. If you look at it on a...
Kratos kills everyone.
That would be pretty cool, right? So I think that kind of formula is cool because I am a sucker for mythology. I am a sucker for ancient history. That's cool to me.
Ancient aliens.
No. Go watch the movie Signs.
No. It has a racist in it. I don't want to watch that.
You are right.
All right. But, so
yeah, sure. 26, God of War.
26, God of War. We're halfway there, ladies and gentlemen. Stick with us. We're going to take a quick break here, and we'll finish up with the rest of the list. So don't go anywhere, y'all.
Welcome back. We're halfway through this. For the most part, we've agreed with quite a bit of it. Some of them we felt, hey, doesn't need to be here, or, spoke a little bit on them. But we're going to power through the bottom 25.
The top 25, isn't it?
Yeah, fair.
Which do you? Do you top or do you... Shut up, fuck up. Stop talking, John. I said that to myself. All right, number 25, Resident Evil 4. I agree with this. It's been ported to everything. It's here for a reason.
I mean,
it saved Resident Evil.
Yeah, it was the game that saved the franchise and helped the franchise get to where it is now with Resident Evil Village.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, play it. It's on everything. There's no reason you don't have to play it. At 25, I'm fine with that.
I am too, and it's crazy because Resident Evil has reinvented itself twice now, and all of those games, I mean, save some spin-offs maybe, but all the mainline games are usually pretty good. Pretty average to good. And for their own reasons, too.
Fair. Trucking along, number 24, Journey.
This is another one I kind of toss up to being one of those very artsy independent games that came out at the cusp where that stuff was really important.
It's a beautiful game. Soundtrack is very soothing. I can see why it would make a top 50 list because I think it was the pinnacle of that. I have nothing to say, didn't experience it, but I can see why it's here.
If you love it, and you know why. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those games where if you love it, you know exactly why.
So, moving right along.
Number 23, Cyberpunk 1880.
The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. I personally don't think games like this should be in a top 50 list.
Why is that? Because Red Dead's on here too, you know.
I agree. You even heard me say, cool, but I don't think it should be where it's at. The Witcher 3 is literally side quest the game.
But all open world games are like that.
Some open worlds are actually done appropriately. Some open worlds, it's just story plus side quest. Witcher 3 just feels like it's side quest after side quest. I'm just not a fan of this game. I can understand the reason Gamesradar put it at number 23 because it does have it's the new Skyrim. How many fucking times has this game been re-released?
It's not even like the new Skyrim. Skyrim is the new Skyrim all the time because they keep putting it out.
You're right. Sure, Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. You're at 23. I don't agree with it, but
I think, the thing I think it delivers on, and I'll touch on it really quickly, is the fact that the side quests that you actually do get are filled with actual narrative, good shit. You know what I'm saying? Like helping a suicidal werewolf or a ghost woman who's been eaten alive by plague rats and stuff. It actually packs an emotional punch into the side quests you do. A lot of games don't do that. A lot of side quests are go grab a thing.
I mean, that's fair. So, you know what? Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. Play it, don't play it. There's tons of ways you can play it. Number 22, BioShock.
Ooh. I feel this should be higher, but I'm glad it's just here at all because sometimes it's because I've talked this game up a lot.
We literally talked about it in a while back, actually, our perfect video game episode.
Yeah.
We've said enough about it. It's a wonderful experience. It deserves a place in the top 50. Could be higher.
I definitely feel
doesn't
it could be
need
higher.
to be lower, right?
Definitely not. Like BioShock 1 did something so, what I feel, revolutionary, or at least brought something back that was missing for a long time. Just the idea of being surprised by something.
Yeah, you don't really get that anymore in video games.
No, you do not. You know everything about your game before you play it.
So,
I'm looking at you, Metroid Dread.
Fair. So, trucking right along.
Number 20. Wow.
The Elder Scrolls V, Skyrim.
The fact it beat.
Can you just delete the first part of it and just call it Skyrim at this point?
A lot of people do.
Yeah, Elder Scrolls, you fucked up. It's just Skyrim.
Well,
we don't need 6. 6 can be called Spacium.
Spacium. It's called frickin' Starfield or whatever. It's interesting you say that because for me, as someone who has played most of the Elder Scrolls games, like I always call it Morrowind, Oblivion, Skyrim, and whatever the hell the 6th one's going to be called.
Yeah, I mean, Skyrim is everywhere. It's been re-released 575 million.2 times.
This is fucking Side Quest the game.
Yes, that is side. I still don't think games like that should be in a top 50 list because, let's face it, an open world game is an open world game. Some bring better innovations than others. Some bring better story than others. Some bring really cool elements, like Breath of the Wild. That's an open world Zelda game. Really harmonious elements, and I won't take anything away from that. But if you're
sounds like you are.
But if you're talking about the top 50 video games of all time, we're missing out on so many potential important milestones in history that weren't open world. Because when you create an open world game, in my opinion, you give yourself a crutch. Side quest the game. Narrative side quest the game. Zelda open world. Like, it's...
I will wholly admit that because I played Rage 2. I'm pretty sure a lot of people didn't, but I did. And that game... Wow, they did not know what the hell they were doing.
Like, and we spoke about Sonic Frontiers. It's open world. I'm optimistic for your sake, my friend, because I know how much you enjoy Sonic. But let's be real. If it turns into we're relying on the open world crutch, they automatically fail. Point blank.
This is what I'll say as a point of contention for that, is the fact that I said in my, Sonic, diatribe episode. I like how he said the same word. But when I said that if you focus on actual engaging moment-to-moment gameplay, just moving in your game, if that's fun to do, you can do it anywhere as long as it's fun. What I hope for Sonic Frontiers and any open-world game is that they explore their concepts with what it is. Because I'm playing Halo Infinite right now. And Halo is a very specific type of first-person shooter. But it's also one that was... again, iterated on from games like it before, whether it's Half-Life, whether it's Unreal, whether it's even just, multiplayer arena shooters.
Yep.
It all was based on that. And so when they did the open world thing, it was still pretty linear because it guided you along with all these bases in this open, lush environment. What they're doing with Infinite, I feel they're delivering on right away because, yes, it's an open world game, but the thing that you're doing is constantly engaging. It's not about side quests. It's about being in that shooter environment.
It can be done well. And I'm not going to take away from the ones that are done well. But too many open world games rely on the open world crutch, which is, oh, this is pretty, but my content is hollow.
Yeah, I mean...
And when Skyrim originally came out, it was buggy, it was glitchy, the content was hollow. But because it was open world, people loved it, and we've had it remade 44 million times.
We are going to get letters...
I am all for it. You flame me, audience, all you want.
Todd is going to come knocking on the door. It's like, you didn't play Skyrim?
So we have to move along because we've given Skyrim way too much of our time.
Wow. Damn. Next one's Pokemon Go. I get it. Dude, okay. Pokemon Go's number 20, and I will give it all the credit in the world because when this game came out, that was the closest humanity got to world peace.
Number 20, though?
Yeah. I would put it higher than the regular Pokemon.
I mean, sure.
Fuck regular Pokemon.
I played Pokemon Go briefly when it first came out. I'm sure everyone did. I actually played the game before Pokemon Go, which was called Ingress.
Uh-huh.
Literally...
You're Pokemon Go hipster.
Well, so literally it was that game, all their nodes and everything, they just put the Pokemon skin on, and that was it. So it was kind of weird to do that, but kind of genius to do that, right?
Well, we talked
Don't
about
break
that.
what's not broken.
That's true, and also we talked about it with like fucking Batman, right? Like take a Ubisoft game and put Batman in it. There you go.
Yeah, so I mean, Pokemon Go, sure. Number 20, I don't know.
Let
For
us know what you
a
think.
mobile game at number 20,
I mean, it'd be like if Temple Run was at number 5. It's like, why?
I'd shoot myself.
And we'd have it recorded, so that'd be fun content, everybody. My co-host is dead, and we still have 4 more games to talk about.
So moving along.
Oh, Jesus. SimCity.
SimCity.
You know, again, I
19 is SimCity.
I'll give it to it, man. Like, the entire Sim genre didn't really attack that kind of stuff at that scale like SimCity did.
I'm not a fan of The Sims anything, but SimCity I enjoyed. I remember even playing it on the... Hell, remember we put it on my Super Nintendo Classic. I was like, hey, grab SimCity, and you looked at me like, what?
Really? That version?
Yeah, we put the Super Nintendo one on.
It has Mr. Wright in it, so there you go.
Yeah, SimCity. Oh, wow.
Are we just jumping right along?
We're cruising. Number 18. I commend this.
Okay.
Space Invaders.
Yo, as someone who fucking loves Space Invaders, I'm glad it's getting its due recognition here.
And this is honestly like the earliest game of the list.
1978. The fact that, you know, I remember, do you ever watch, there's a Netflix documentary called High Score?
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I watched that.
When you actually saw one of the old man who was the developer who worked on this game, and you saw his original like ledgers and like programming notes, written in paper. They programmed games by writing it down. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And they made one of the most addicting and fun arcade games of all time that way.
Yep.
Holy crap.
I can't speak negative to Space Invaders other than if you were of the generation prior to us, I am sorry for how many quarters you wasted, but at the same time, I'm happy for how many memories you made. Because
yeah.
I didn't get to experience the arcade golden era. Like, I truly wish I did. It would have been a fun time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, definitely. Oh, wow.
Oh, okay. So I think you're responding to the next one. One last thing I'll say is, we talk about staying power. If you want a good Space Invaders game right now, play the huge screen arcade one with like the actual laser blasters, or find a copy of Space Invaders Extreme. That game is awesome.
Facts, big facts. And sorry for my loud, oh wow. Number 17.
Super Mario Kart number 1, 1992.
I mean, I feel like, so if I'm putting my mind into a Gamesradar employee, it's, if we're picking a franchise, we have to look at every game in the franchise. Which one do we represent? That's what it seems like, right?
Right.
I mean...
You're not a big fan of Mario Kart 1?
Oh, no, I love Mario Kart 1.
Oh, okay.
But is it better than Mario Kart 8?
Or Double Dash, or, you know...
Mario Kart 64.
Or the Mario Kart Wii. Everything's better than Mario Kart Wii. But,
yeah, we won't comment on that one. That one's the black sheep of the family. But, I mean... so
the most popular, like, best-selling until 8 Deluxe. That's the black sheep.
I mean, like, man, like, I can agree with a Mario Kart being here. Like, don't get me wrong, ladies and gentlemen. Like, I can agree with that. Like, I love me some Mario Kart. Mm-hmm. And Super Mario Kart was...
My best friend is a Mario Kart.
So, I mean, Super Mario Kart was a lot of fun. Is it the right one? For me, I lean towards 8.
Yeah. Like, again...
Or 64.
Again, operative word here. Iterative. Mm-hmm. Usually the first one in a franchise isn't the best one. Usually it's... I just saw it too. So don't worry. I'm shocked too. But I'm also happy. But yeah, I mean, I agree why it's here. I like it. It's fine. I didn't have a SNES. I had a Genesis growing up. So I got to play this over at a friend's house. I liked it. Fine. I liked F-Zero a little better.
That's fair. So what John just commented on with that random comment he made, like, my eyes open wide. Number 16.
Pac-Man. Waka, waka, waka. All right. That sounded so pathetic. All right, everybody who likes Pac-Man. Yeah, just me. Okay.
Pac-Man with cancer is what you just did.
Come on. So many versions of Pac-Man.
Yeah, we can't talk about the versions of Pac-Man. Honestly, I think this leans a lot towards what they mentioned with what they were doing. This leans towards the legacy and, influence.
This was 2 years after Space Invaders. This was 1980, and it caused 100 yen coin shortage in Japan because there were so many just stuffed into these cabinets. And the funny thing is, like, I know some history. Like, I know my history when it comes to games. I've tried to prove that a couple times. Freaking Pac-Man, the guy who developed it was named Toru Iwatani. And it's funny how he developed one of the biggest, most marquee games on the planet. And it's like, I was told I received, like, you know, some recognition in my yearly bonus, but other than that, I didn't receive much recognition at the company. It's just like, do you have any idea how much of a celebrity you would be if you developed that game in America?
Yep.
And then also, he came back to develop Championship Edition. I adore that game to the point where I actually bought the DLC. It has like the new maps and stuff in it. I think for a while, my score was ranked number 2 in the world.
Damn. I mean,
I again, like, hollow claims because I can't really prove it, but I remember playing that game to death.
Honestly, I can agree with that one being high up, just pure legacy alone, because that spawned so many games. Like, yep. So many games can say, hey, you know, because of Pac-Man, we exist. Because
of Pac-Man, like, arcades were hip.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because, again, with the history, is like he wanted to develop a video game that everyone could play. And he did it. Bam.
Moving along. Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare.
Okay, I'll get this one thing out of the way, because I think I touched on it very briefly in a previous episode.
Episode 1.
This was the game that gave people a lot of, like, the shock and awe Iraq and Afghanistan war catharsis that we've been looking for in popular entertainment. You know what I mean? This gave us the chance to basically have our, like, 9/11 revenge fantasy.
I mean, it
was a fun game on top of that, yeah, but that's my kind of, like, anti-jingoist stance.
Honestly, if you look at the Call of Duty franchise, you look at all the games that have been out, Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare, I agree with it making the list. It is, in my opinion, the best version of Call of Duty you can play. Was the most fun you could have with friends. Was the most fun you could have split screen. On and on and on, right?
Yeah, there was a lot of positives to it, man. Like, I ain't mad at this. Like, I certainly have my favorite of the Call of Duty games. It's usually the Black Ops franchise for me. But what this game did, outside of my kind of, like, whatever you agree with me or not thing at the beginning, this game did it. Like, it delivered on something really, really special and really, really... Because Call of Duty, when it came out, it was the Medal of Honor killer, right? It was exclusively for
Medal
PC.
of Honor, I'm taking you out.
Take that, Hitler. Anyway. But
World War II needs to die.
Well, yeah, like in the first 3 games, Call of Duty 1, 2, 3, Big Red 1, and all the spin-offs and stuff like that were World War II shooters. And there used to be a refrain, another World War II shooter.
I mean, hell, look at Vanguard.
I mean, it's back twice. But, like, you see what I'm saying? Like, so that was the common thing back then, because youngins who might not remember this, World War II shooters were everywhere, from tactical games to first-person shooters to strategy games, everything. So when they came out and said, we're going to do Modern Warfare, it's like, well, what? And then we saw that ghillie suit with the tanks rolling by and that debut trailer at E3 blew people's fucking minds.
They went to new area, and it was awesome. So
kudos, Call of Duty. You started one of the biggest Dew and Dorito-filled evil trends in gaming, but, you know, your games are still pretty fun.
I mean, it gave us Call of Duty 360 chat room.
You gave us freaking Black Ops 2 where they hired Oliver North to be in the commercials. What the fuck?
Is your name John and do you live at 123 Way?
Do you know that way? I like how that's the voice you're doing. I like how people are going to be able to discern my political leanings just by what I say.
So, trucking along, number 14.
The communist game, Portal. I'm fucking with you. All right. I'm just saying shit because I know I can. Number 14 is Portal. Yeah,
give him a mic, ladies and gentlemen. This is what he does.
You want to see me say some real shit? Or at least hear me say some real shit?
Now hiring. Needed co-host. We'll pay with Mountain Dew.
Hey, I'm James, and I'm Jerome. We have to keep the J names. Anyway, so number 14 is Portal, and I think Portal needs to be higher even.
Well, we haven't gotten higher, so I want to say it could be higher right now, but as we're going, if other games literally deserve the 13 through 1, okay, respect. Portal, honestly, it was the surprise of 2007, right?
It was because it was given as like a stocking stuffer for the orange box because Half-Life episode 2 was taking so long.
And when you played it, it was like, holy balls, this is addictive fun.
It's a fun, yeah. Go ahead if you have more to say about it, because
Like-
I want to jump in so bad.
I mean, GLaDOS talking to you, great lines, right? The cake is a lie, awesome. You name it. Like, Portal spawned a cult following.
Yep.
I could heap mountains of praise. I could talk tons about it, but honestly, like, Portal, play it today. Go have fun.
It's jumping back again. It's an example to me of another perfect video game because it doesn't overstay its welcome. It delivers exactly on its concept. It's darkly funny, has great narrative, like, storytelling without much dialogue, just only what you discern from the environment. Perfect video game. Perfect 3-hour puzzle, platformer, shooter game.
Play it.
Play it.
You notice we haven't said play it for all of these. So the ones we do, listen and play the fucking game.
Yeah, before he punches me in the face again.
Yeah, he deserves it.
I mean, yeah.
Come on. Number 13.
You know what? Because of, again, staying power, this game came out in 2013 and still makes billions of dollars.
Grand Theft Auto 5, ladies and gentlemen, made number 13.
This sold over like 150 million copies of this shit.
155 million, to be precise, at the time of writing of this article.
What the fuck?
That's dumb. That is dumb. That is dummy dumb.
You do not like Grand Theft Auto, apparently.
Grand Theft Auto is fun, but they said legacy, stopping power, influence.
Stopping power, like you get shot.
Like Grand Theft Auto 5, everything they were trying to convey with this list, they did. Like Grand Theft Auto 5 does convey everything. My problem with Grand Theft Auto 5 is, again, the open world blah. Because the game itself, very, very good. It is very well polished. It is a very well put together story, especially for an open world style game. It is one of the few where the narration and the narrative process was precise and concise. What's kept it alive, though, and you know as well as I,
GTA Online
is not that.
Yeah.
It is its shitty online play.
What you're describing is you're pissed at people for playing the multiplayer more than the campaign mode.
There's so much more you could have done. Grand Theft Auto 6.
There's always so much more you could have done.
Like, if your game sparks that kind of fire, keep that fire going with what worked. Don't give us a watered down online. Because let's be real, Grand Theft Auto 5 online is ass unless you have played since it came out.
Yep, pretty much. It's kind of like
every Rockstar game.
Well, here's what's interesting too. But it's true. I think it's interesting too because I think about Grand Theft Auto 4 and when that came out and it got like 3 separate solo like DLC for the campaign mode because that's all there was. And they actually told stories and introduced characters and did cool things with the narrative side of it. Now, Grand Theft Auto 5 doesn't really need to be open world because of all the stuff that you don't get to do in it. But because of GTA Online, they basically made an open world sandbox for everybody to make their own side quests. So I can understand the appeal. It just doesn't appeal to me.
I mean,
it's Minecraft with M rating.
Yeah. So we're gonna move along.
I am actually really happy immediately that this isn't number 1 because so many freaking lists like this put this at number 1, and I'm glad it's not.
Sure. What is this?
Super Mario Brothers 3.
At what number?
Number 12. Holy crap.
So, again, you heard me explain. I'm sure they had to put, here's every Super Mario. Which one do we think makes the list? Like that.
Hotel Mario. Put that one at number 1.
Is Mario 3 better than Mario World?
I don't think so. I like Mario World better.
Mario World, I 100%ed. Mario 3'd, I whistled to the end. That's all I'm going to say.
Wow. You didn't go to see Giant World?
No.
Damn.
Not on my initial playthrough. My buddy was like, hey, pay attention for these. And I'm like, oh, neat. And I just enjoyed it. Yeah. So, I mean, obviously, Super Mario Brothers 3, it was amazing. It was released on the original Nintendo when they were full swing plan of, getting ready to move forward with the Super Nintendo. Like, you had people playing Super Mario World and Super Mario 3 at the same time.
Dude, the Nintendo had a great staying power, I gotta say. I understand why it's here. It's probably the best version of itself it can be, and that's why it's here. but I'm also really happy that the next game beat it.
Huh. So the next one, for what, okay, yeah, all right. Well, I mean, that's here. It's Halo Combat Evolved.
Fuck yeah, number 11.
I mean, it is the game that single-handedly launched Xbox to what it is.
Hell yeah.
Without Halo, I personally don't think Microsoft would have gotten off the ground with their Xbox.
No, you're right.
Enough said. Like, it is literally that console's juggernaut of juggernauts, regardless of the other really good games that have come out on Xbox, you don't beat Halo.
It goes to show because for me, I'm playing through Infinite right now, and I was looking forward to Infinite ever since it was announced. And the thing that it looked to recapture was exactly what Halo 1 gave to me as an experience. It was, again, it might not be... Now, this Halo Infinite is open world, whereas Halo 1 was very linear, with its level structure and the fact that, yes, it did present an open world, but there was still markers and goals and end games and, ends of levels and stuff.
Technology of the time.
Yeah, but the thing is that it felt epic, no matter what you did or where you went. And every single plot revelation, every single thing that happened to you as the chief, you were like, I am just a small part in this big, big story, this big, big world, and all this crazy shit's happening, and I'm just trying to get by and make sure that I can live another day and save the day, maybe.
I'll sum it up in one sentence that I'll ask John here. Would you play that today?
Yes.
Enough said. If you haven't played Halo...
what's wrong with you?
I was going to say something darker, but sure, what's wrong with you?
It's Reggie. What's wrong with you?
If you haven't played Halo, retire as a gamer, sell your collection. Even I...
Turn in your gamer card.
Even I have played Halo.
Turn in all your Microsoft points.
Give them to John. He'll appreciate them.
Yeah. Here comes the money.
Whoa there, Shane O'Mac.
Here comes the money. Here comes the money because number 10 is one of my favorite games of all time.
I'm happy you beat Halo. Metal Gear Solid. So if you look at Metal Gear Solid as a franchise, honestly, I agree with them picking the very first one. So ladies and gentlemen, we're in the top 10, and this is where you're going to see some bombshell amazing titles for the top 10 best games of all time. Metal Gear Solid, it was the game that catapulted stealth into the stratosphere. Metal Gear Solid, the original one, spawned Siphon Filter. Rainbow Six started to copy it. Like, I could go on and on and on and on and on. It was, we did it perfect. I don't care how much you copy me. Fuck you, I'm better.
Dude, like, me and Kojima are like this. And I know it's an audio show, but I'm doing like the kind of crossover fingers thing, right? I adore this man's games. I don't care if people think he's pretentious. I don't care if people think his games are shit or they're just movies. I don't care. He delivers on everything he sets out to make pretty flawlessly.
He's the Spielberg of video games.
And that's a good way to put it. I think also, like, just with what he does with his games and how everything is so polished and everything delivers on the story, everything comes together so cohesively, and you still have a blast playing it. And the fact that me, as a person who doesn't really give a shit about characters or narrative and all that kind of stuff, will sit down and listen to over 13 hours of codec conversations and dialogue and be the one who actually talks to Natasha in that game because no one else did.
Shh, Snake, are you there?
You need a PSG-1. Hurry and save Meryl.
So, moving along.
From one side of the spectrum to the other.
So,
I like how, like, squat he looks in this screenshot.
Mario, he made a number 9 in Super Mario 64.
Leave the impressions for someone who actually can do it.
You will go fuck yourself.
You can't even do Luigi.
You're dead to me.
No, you're dead to me.
Oh.
Maron.
So, as you've heard, so Super Mario 64 made the top 9. Enough said, it definitely deserves to, if we're looking at what the top 10 video games
if we're
of all
talking
time,
and looking at, yes.
Yeah, I mean,
if we're talking at.
Like, you look at the top 10 video games of all time, they have to have power. They have to have, I agree with this, in some form or fashion, even if you're not a fan of the game. Super Mario 64 literally set the bar of bars for 3D platformers for all time, and you can hold it up to new 3D platformers, and sometimes they fall flat. Like, sometimes it's like, Super Mario 64, 3D platformer.
What's funny is
Super
that
Mario 64. 3D. Yeah, fuck it. Super Mario 64. Loading you back up for the 500th time.
not only that, but like it only seems to be beaten by other Mario games. Like for me,
I can agree with that. Yeah.
like I passed on like I played Sunshine and I played Galaxy 1 and 2 for a little bit, but they didn't have the staying power that I kind of wanted from my games because it felt very walled garden. It didn't really feel like the experience I wanted. The only way that 64, at least in my eyes, gets topped, Odyssey. Odyssey delivered on something that was so magical that 64 captured originally.
Not even Galaxy?
Nope.
Damn. Okay.
I played Galaxy for like 40 stars. Like, I'm done.
So far, the top 10, I agree with the first two entries, don't you?
I do agree.
Number
Not this
8.
next one. This next one.
I like how we're like, yes, top first two, we agree.
Oh.
The Last of Us. So
we've shit on this game. Like I've probably shit on it more than you. Look, it in the same way that like Red Dead 2 appeals to people, in the same way that the Soulsborne games appeal to people. I understand what they are completely. I understand it. It's just not for me, so I don't feel qualified to even speak on it.
it is literally a narrative story driven game, The Last of Us.
It is. You know what it actually
and
did?
It's not.
I'm sorry. I don't want to interrupt. I always feel like I'm doing that. What this game did is established the PlayStation style. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I can agree for that. I can agree with that. Like, me personally, I'm not a fan. We have a mutual friend. When he heard us kind of bash The Last of Us back with the other list. I mean, look, we're bashing it again on this list.
And we're not bashing it. Like I'm wholly admitting, like I'm not qualified to speak on this because of how I feel about it.
All right. Well, you know what? I'm gonna push a hot button topic. It should not be in the top 10 video games of all time.
Ooh.
It should not be number 8. When we're talking Super Metroid, A Link to the Past, we're talking it beat Metal Gear Solid. When we're talking it beat
now
Halo,
I'm pissed. Now
right?
I'm pissed.
Like,
it beat Toe Jam and Earl, which isn't even on this list.
He's got a Steam meter rising, and he's like the little anger dude from Inside Out. I'm gonna blow my top!
Inside Out. Oh, that guy.
Yeah,
Lewis Black.
Firehead.
Isn't it just called Inside?
I thought it was Inside Out.
I don't remember. I don't care.
If I'm wrong, leave him a comment.
All right.
Yo, I'm okay with this. This deserves. Actually, it should probably be higher.
Wait, did we just like completely? Did we just ignore the Flame War?
Oh no, yeah. I mean, I said what I had to say. Like, I'm drawing the line in the sand. You can say more if you want. Like,
I don't have anything else to say. I really don't.
It shouldn't be in the top 10. Top 50. I will say yes, absolutely.
In establishing the current PlayStation style, which they're looking to milk for the rest of their, probably until something else comes out, fine. But for me personally, as something I want to play, no thank you.
There's so many other games we talked about on this list that we could put there.
I do like the meme that's going around, however, though, because there's a scene in that game where there's like a movie poster, and Ellie's just like, I saw this before the pandemic hit, right? And people have been replacing that with the Sonic poster. And I'm like, yes!
That's awesome.
Do you have any idea how awesome that would be?
That's funny. That's funny. So I had a moment of excitement, but John reined me in. I'm going to let that excitement out. Number 7.
Tetris.
Yes. Let that sink in.
Let that sink in. So let me get this straight. Tetris is number 7 of the top 50 games of all time. Let that sink in.
And I don't care what you say. Like, your opinion is valid. I'm not going to discount your opinion, but Tetris deserves top 10, bar none. And if you don't feel it does, you need to go and play Tetris for at least 10 hours straight, consecutively, listening to the music, developing this manic intensity that you hear coming out of my voice right now for how awesome Tetris is, bar none, period, end of story. I'm right, you're wrong.
He turned into the Micro Machines, man. I saw him transform. He's vibrating. No, totally. Just even for like the legacy and even the bonkers story of getting this game localized to be released outside of the Iron Curtain is insanity.
You heard us talk about it. Like, we talked about it at length in our perfect video game episode, because you can add on to it. You can take a couple things away from it. Like, it doesn't matter. Tetris itself is a perfect video game, no matter what iteration you look at.
No matter which one you play, you're going to have a great time. Try and play that game for like 5 minutes. That's my challenge to all of you who haven't played Tetris somehow. Play for 5 minutes.
Ooh, I want to see John's reaction to this.
I'm into it. Number 6.
Really? That's it? I'm into it? No. you have hyped up this game or iterations of this game so much, and you talked so passionately about it. I dig it. No.
I'm still nodding my head.
I am taking your gamer card on this one.
Motherfucker. You can't do that. It's expired anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it expired when you were born.
Oh! Anyway.
Woo!
Anyway. The next game on the list is Street Fighter II, The World Warriors. Yeah, man. I love myself some fighting games like crazy. Street Fighter is definitely one of my favorites.
If you look at every fighting game franchise, Mortal Kombat, Guilty Gear, Soul Calibur, Tekken, Killer Instinct, Virtua Fighter,
Karate Champ, King of Fighters, Fatal Fury, Art of Fighting.
Yeah, we can keep going, right? If you look at them all, there's always something like a fighting game always has something amazing that draws you in to play it.
Mm-hmm.
Or to go to the arcade and sink your money into it like this, right? Street Fighter 2 to this day is still played in tournaments.
Yep.
Street Fighter 2, the World Warrior, to this day is arguably one of the best iterations you can play in it. Others give you more characters, give you cooler costumes, better combos, better ways, better mechanics, sure.
Whatever way you iterate this game, you're getting Street Fighter, and it's awesome.
And Street Fighter 2, the World Warrior. I agree with that. Number 6.
First, single-handedly spearheading an entire genre and, doing it correctly. Because there were one-on-one fighting games like Karate Champ, but, no one cares about Karate Champ.
Yeah.
No one even cares about Street Fighter 1. They care about Street Fighter 2.
Yeah, no, Street Fighter 1, they started the idea, and then Street Fighter 2 came out, and it's like, hey, we see our problems. Guess what? Eat perfection. And we are still eating perfection to this day.
To this day. And my one nerd trivia I'll flex is that the fact that they were going to make Street Fighter 89, which became Final Fight, and they were like, this is the beat-em-up game, so we'll change this. So let's iterate and make a fighting game. And then, bam, took over the world. Holy shit.
So far, would you, outside of The Last of Us, everything in the top 10, I'm repeating myself because I don't agree with lists that often because it's so subjective. It's my opinion versus your opinion, my game style versus your game style. And it truly seems like I will give Gamesradar a big shout out. Hopefully they'll listen to us one day. I feel like they took the time to truly, truly flesh this out. There are a lot of modern games that you heard us talked about, from your Dishonoreds to your Uncharteds, your Metal Gears, et cetera, but when you look at the history of games, I sure as shit didn't expect Space Invaders or Pac-Man to be on a top 50 list compared to what we usually see.
Yeah, for real. Kudos.
Shout out. You guys, well played.
You guys did it right. And then you're going to make me frown because I saw what number 5 was.
So we're going to see how you hold up for the top 5. And as John said, God damn it. God damn it. I give you all this praise.
I feel like you set that up.
All this fucking praise. No, I didn't even look at number 5. I was giving it praise. And I scroll down.
Anything kids play, you hate.
So, Minecraft.
Number 5 is Minecraft, y'all.
It's not that I don't like what kids play. I fully get Minecraft will never go away. It has spawned its own genre of Roblox, et cetera, right?
Yep. Craft adventure.
Fuck. Dragon Quest Builders, for crying.
Ooh, you're right. There's 2 of those.
When you have a JRPG franchise that has never really steered clear of its roots up until the PlayStation 4 with Dragon Quest Heroes, their Dynasty Warrior style one, and Dragon Quest Builders.
What about the one for the Wii that was kind of like the rail sword slash game?
I mean, it didn't really it didn't really deviate because it was still true turn-based and everything. They just added a gimmick to try and play off of the Wii.
Well, whatever. Anyway, it was a light sword game. Anyway.
When you have a storied franchise with over 30 years of history, copy your shit.
Yep.
You know you have arrived.
Yeah, for as much as Notch has gone crazy, kudos, man. You made a good game.
Moving along. So, I mean, I don't think that should be 5. Top 10, maybe. Top 10, actually, fuck Last of Us. Bye. Minecraft can go in that slot.
Kick that out and put it at number 8.
So number 5 slot is blank. Stay tuned. We'll fill our number 5 slot.
Sonic the Hedgehog. Fuck you. We're gonna put fucking Final Fantasy Tactics in there.
Damn. Damn.
What are you responding to number 4 or what I just said?
Both.
Okay.
Dammity damn.
Say it with us if we've said this game before. It starts with an H and ends with a 2. Half-Life 2. Yeah.
Jinx,
Holy...
you owe me a Coke.
Hold on.
Don't you dare.
I'm not giving you another Coke. You already have one.
Honestly, yeah. Like, this deserves to be in the top 5 video games of all time.
It does. I do agree.
We spent almost 20 minutes in our perfect video game episode. So if you haven't listened to that one...
Sucking this game's dick.
Basically, John was under the table like, gargling the balls.
Oh, Mr. Freeman, hello.
Oh, make sure you snipe it into my mouth.
You know we've been freaking recording for like an hour and a half when it starts getting this fucking insane. Jesus.
Our longest episode yet.
Fun times, and you're the one editing it, this one.
Ew.
Have fun at Christmas.
There's nothing left to say that we can't say or has not been said about Half-Life 2.
Dude. Like,
play it. This is one of those we don't have to say anything else other than
play it.
Fucking play it.
Fucking play it.
Fucking play it.
Dude, the Havoc physics engine, that was a new thing when this game came out and they made it. Just think about that. Like, technology didn't exist until this game. Fuck.
Yeah, so we don't need to say any more. Half-Life 2. Awesome, right?
Yep.
Well deserved spot.
Most definitely.
God damn it.
Why? Why are you so mad?
Number 3, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
2 Zelda games are on this list, y'all. That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, 2 Mario games are on this list.
Oh, yeah.
But no Mario World.
Oh.
At least yet, we don't know.
Also, yeah, I'm taking Last of Us spot, and the 5 spot goes to Sonic the Hedgehog.
I get what Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild has done. I've actually played it. So after I talked monster shit on it, I went out, I was like, you know what? I own this, whatever, I'm gonna play it. I enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. But in the top 5 video games of all time, a lot of fun.
Number 3 even.
No,
because again, this is where I think legacy matters, and I think I pointed out to you in the first episode.
If we're talking about legacy mattering, though,
no, what I'm talking about is risk as well. Because when we talked about Final Fantasy VII and Breath of the Wild in our classic first actual argument on this fucking show, think about the risk. Was there fundamentally something different between Final Fantasy VII and 6 that would make that more risky, or was there something fundamentally different between the last 10 years of Zelda games and then this? And then knocking it out of the park.
I'll agree. Literally, it is still the game to get on your Switch. Point blank.
Based.
Point blank. Play it, buy it. It's gone down in price, actually. First party title went down in price. Who would have thought?
Who would have fucking thought Nintendo would think, you know what? $40.
I personally... So I'm offended, ladies and gentlemen, in the sense that we don't have... Obviously, you know I'm about to mention 2 JRPGs.
Of course you are.
We don't have a Final Fantasy VI representation or a Chrono Trigger representation. And I appreciate them putting 7 on there.
Mm-hmm.
7 should have been higher, in my opinion, but so far this top 10 is pretty stacked. You know what? I replace 8 with 7. Actually, no, I replace 8 with Chrono Trigger.
You know, that feels fair to me.
What
about Minecraft? Where does that go? Number 9?
Yeah, we kick that down.
We'll do 9A and 9B. There you go.
So
this is technically a top 51 list.
I've talked till I'm blue in the face about Chrono Trigger. I won't say anything else, but this makes me kind of sad because I do agree with what John said. When it comes to risk and everything, Breath of the Wild took a giant risk. It was literally the Legend of Zelda formula turned upside down completely and successful.
Yep.
And generally, when you turn your stuff upside down,
that breaks.
Super Mario Brothers the movie.
1/3 of a good movie.
It didn't even have Full Metal Jacket syndrome. It couldn't make it through half.
Pour one out.
So, fine. I can see this in the top 10, absolutely. But at number 3, with the other 2 titles I mentioned, I'm sad.
I mean, placement can always be debated, but the fact it's even in this list, I still feel it belongs here.
But there's no Chrono Trigger. There's no Final Fantasy VI. What are we at, an hour and a half?
Yeah, an hour and 40.
Holy balls. Yeah, what a way to end the year.
What a way to end the year. You're getting a double long episode. Talking double stuff, baby.
All right, so we have 2 left, ladies and gentlemen.
So I want us to think about how we got here, and I also want you at home to think about all the games that you've played throughout your life that you think belong in the top 50. And now we're down to the final 2. So if your game hasn't been mentioned, could you imagine if it's 2 or even 1?
Honestly, this episode and talking with John, like, holy fuck. We're literally past feature-length movie at this point. We're going for the Grammys and Oscars, ladies and gentlemen, and all that shit.
I like how we're going for the Grammys, and the one episode we have is like the one that plays with Sonic Heroes.
So, actually sparked an idea just now. John, we're going to speak this into existence before we go over this last top 2. We keep talking about lists. We keep shitting on them in some way, praising some of them in some ways. You and I are going to make a top 25 video games of all time list. And that, ladies and gentlemen, will be a future episode.
That should be the one we ring in the new year with.
You with me?
I'm down.
You with me?
Let's do it.
Are you with me?
I'm with you.
Are you with me?
Is there a reference I'm not getting?
Are you with me?
Polo.
Marco.
Polo.
Dicko.
Marco Polo. Uncharted. That's one of the best games of all time. All right. That went somewhere.
So, honestly, ladies and gentlemen, like, thank you for listening with us this whole time. And honestly, in part with you as well, we literally spawned that into creation. You're going to hear our top 25. I'm terrified of the brainstorming that is going to be involved in this because I have a feeling it's going to be a 14-hour slugfest, but I am here for it.
I see your house looking like Pepe Sylvia already.
Fuck you, this doesn't belong here.
It's like, Pepe Sylvia, it was a barrel's full of Pepe.
All right.
He's going to be Luigi.
So I'm going to rein myself back in. John doesn't have to this time, for once.
Hey.
Ayo.
I don't know what that's for, but whatever. Number 2, Doom. Oh, yes.
I want to let that sink in for everybody because...
Let me get this straight. Let that sink in. We have to get it straight first.
Up until Doom, shooters were a little clunky. They were still fun, but there was still some clunkiness to them. Doom said, you know what? Fuck the clunky. I'm going to give you something amazing. And literally, because of Doom, we have first-person shooters as they are. And then you have, obviously, like we said, Half-Life 2 advancing upon that. And those 2 games have given you what you Call of Duty people, you Fortnite people, you Battlefield people, all of you enjoy the games you enjoy courtesy of Doom and Half-Life 2.
You know a game is legendary when for decades people qualify the genre or even the type of game it is as a Doom clone.
You hit the nail on its head. And ladies and gentlemen, this has been out since 1993. Play it in some form or fashion. Even if you don't play the original, Doom 64, Doom Eternal, all the other Doom knockoffs. Limited run games, push some of them out. Not limited run games, regular release for like Doom Eternal and all of that. Get it, play it, enjoy it. You know I am not a shooter fan. This game is fucking awesome.
This game deserves every acclaim.
I'm impressed.
Being what it is.
I'm impressed this is number 2. I fully agree with this at number 2. This is one of those games we talk about, even more than Half-Life 2, for having a legacy on all games to come after it.
Yeah. It's funny because it's like wallpaper. You know what I mean? Like, things that kind of just decorate the things that we love and the hobbies that we share. We don't necessarily pay attention to it just because it's all around us. But when legacy games are actually talked about, they're like, oh yeah, that's a good game.
I just think of ripping off my JRPG wallpaper and all you see is a shooter fan
and all
underneath, and it's like, you lied to me.
No, all you see is a fucking, like, beholder. It's like, oh god! And you see a Kakio demon, and it's like, holy shit, no wonder we covered this up. This is gross.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, we are at number 1.
So you've stuck with us for this entire time. I feel like I've read off quite a few of them. I'm going to let John enjoy reading this one off. John, tell the audience, what's number 1?
Gamesradar's top 50 games of all time, number 1. A game released in 2011, Dark Souls.
I'm laughing because it literally looks like he's just literally went from joyous to sad, and he's just like, oh.
everything, all of the acclaim and esteem and just, piss and vinegar that I had instantly just deflated when I agree that this game deserves to be on this list. Just as far as what it has, in terms of what it has. I'm speaking in tongues. For what it has established.
If he keeps speaking in tongues, he's going to curse the game and we won't get another Dark Souls. Do it.
No, because we get Elden Ring.
Do it.
That one actually looks fun. They actually made one that looks fun to me. Anyway, I want to say what I want to say about this. For what it established and what its current legacy is, even in so short of a time since it came out, it has done a lot. It has found its fan base. It has established pretty much an entire genre of game, which I'm calling the pain genre. And I can't fault people for loving it. I can't fault for them making good quality experiences that people love, and also being an underdog in that regard. I can't fault this for being on this list. I can't fault it for being something I don't even want to play.
It definitely deserves to be in a top 50 list because, let's be real, so many games were spawned after it because of it, right?
So many, even its own sequels, even its own genre, Neo. We look at, all of the Souls-like. In the same way that Doom produced Doom clones, Souls put out Souls-likes.
It's had a powerful influence on gaming for the last 10 years.
And it's such a short amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
Holy crap. Thinking about it, I understand. I understand the legacy. I understand the impact. I just don't like it.
Yeah, so I can see why they put it here. I don't agree with it at being number 1. We still have an open spot in the top 10. So we can push that back to that spot.
Where's Mega Man on this list?
So let's be real. We didn't hear a Mega Man. We didn't hear a Sonic.
Didn't hear a Chrono.
We literally heard two JRPGs in Persona fucking 4 and Final Fantasy 7. Don't get me wrong, both I appreciate.
Don't look a gift horse in the mouth.
What the fuck? What in the living fuck?
Yeah, there's RPGs that came out within the last 20 years.
So I mean,
15 years.
We didn't even see a Mega Man X.
Nope. Another perfect video game, Mega Man X.
So
put Mega Man X7 on this bitch.
How about Mega Man X Command Mission?
Hey, a turn-based Mega Man game. Oh, you want to ruin Mega Man? Here you go.
Honestly, overall, I would give this list, I'd give it a 9.5. Hear me out. They represented a lot of things. They took into the account what you have done, where your place is, what your legacy is.
And why.
And we don't see Space Invaders or Pac-Man. I'll reference back to that. Or even Tetris. We don't see them in the top 20 of any list, period.
It's that wallpaper effect, like I was saying, man. Everyone's going to have their favorite puzzle game, but what would puzzle games be without Tetris?
And when you think about that, for them to actually take into the account the progenitors of video games, kudos. I may not agree with some of them. I may not like some of them. I may be up in arms because you underrepresented an entire fucking genre and you equated...
that I only like.
Fuck you. And you equated all platformers to Mario? Where's Mega Man? Where's Mega Man X? Come on, bro.
Where's, Punky Skunk?
Hollow Knight. You may not like it, but...
I tried to play
Shovel
Hollow Knight. Shovel Knight, yeah.
Where's fucking Shovel Knight?
Yeah, that if Shantae can make a fucking list somewhere, Shovel Knight should be higher on that list.
So,
and it's not even neither are on those lists, so I'm okay.
Yeah,
fair's fair.
Honestly, I rate this pretty high up. I think they took their time, they did their homework, and they didn't leave it to popular vote because popular vote would not have given us this. It would have maybe given the number one. Yeah,
it would have given us IGN's list, and we already know how much we hate that. Again, you don't have to agree, but you can't hate. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, shout out to Gamesradar. They pushed a pretty good one for a top 50.
Yeah, not bad at all. I don't know about you, but just even celebrating all of this has left me exhausted.
Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for sticking around for our Marvel feature-length film.
Yeah, this was a long one, and if you stuck to the end, kudos to you guys. And if I can just say, because I want to take the personal note at the end here, you guys, you listeners out there, followers, commenters, all of you guys, you've made this entire project just so much fun. this would be fun even if no one listened to it, if it was just the two of us. But the fact that you're all out there listening to this around the world, like I've seen the metrics, I've seen the countries we've hit and the places that have listened to us, and I'm just blown away. I didn't expect anywhere near as much of the success that we've seen.
Yeah. Shout out to all of our fans across the world. Shout out to everyone here in America listening. So we're here in San Antonio. A lot of our San Antonio homies have stuck with us and listened, and they've been a big proponent of our listeners and followers. But everyone in Brazil, everyone in Poland, everyone in the UK, in Germany, the Netherlands, I am literally blanking on all of the other...
Sweden and Jamaica.
Sweden, Jamaica, Nigeria. My fucking Nigeria.
My fellow Africans.
Like, seriously, thank you guys so much for listening. Please keep sticking with us because we're going to keep pushing content for years to come. John is one of my best friends. He and I could literally sit down for an entire day and just talk gaming nonsense. We look at it and it's like, oh, hey, 8 hours has been away. You ready for dinner, bud? Cool, let's go.
Where do you think this idea for this podcast even came from?
My anger for a list.
Both of our mutual anger for a list. Like, I'm so angry, I gotta put my feelings on the internet.
So, Happy New Year, everybody. Thank you for listening to our New Year's episode. This has been episode 11. As always, you can find us on Instagram.
Facebook Tamblegram us.
At Games with John and James. You can listen to us everywhere that you listen to your podcasts. You know the drill. Apple, Amazon, Spotify, Google Now. Share it with your friends.
Like.
Yeah. Like, follow us, like us. Stick around for the ride because we have so much more cool things to come. And honestly, we're kicking that new year off with a bang, and we're speaking it into existence right now. John and James's top 25 video games of all time.
I was supposed to have a relaxing Christmas break, and now I gotta do this shit.
Suck it!
You ruined my Christmas.
So, I am much hype, much excited for this. Hopefully you're here for the ride. If not, thanks for listening as much as you have, but I'm going to end this outro in a positive way because I don't want to keep you for 2 hours, which I probably could because I am fucking long-winded.
We both could. But, we're going to let you guys get back to your holiday festivities. As always, I'm John.
And I'm James.
This has been Games with John and James. Happy New Year, everybody. See you in 2022.
Bring in the new year with your favorite video game, just not Dark Souls.
Just not Dark Souls, or The Last of Us, or Minecraft, or any of the ones that we don't like.
Or Halo.
Okay.
All right, guys. See you next year.
Peace out.